ॐ दक्षिणास्य समारम्भा शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमा अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता स्मर्या गुरुपरम्परा श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयङ्करी मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। परिज्ञानाश्रम श्रीगुरुशङ्कर परिज्ञानाश्रम शङ्कर सद्गुरु केशव वामन कृष्ण पाण्डुरङ्ग आनन्द परिज्ञान गुरु सद्यो जात शङ्कर सद्गुरु गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सर्ववेदान्तसिद्धान्त गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविन्दं परमानन्दं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्. So now our Vivekachudamani Shishya student has understood that one has to go to the Guru and learn the Shastra from the Guru to get this knowledge of Atman or Brahman, which ultimately frees this person from the bondage of samsara. And then in the previous verses we saw that even a person who is a well prepared scholar, it is not possible for a person to get this knowledge independently without going to a teacher. We have already seen this, that even in the local vidyas, even in our laukika vidyas, whatever, like whether it is science or mathematics or languages or whether it is music or dance or any of these things, it is not possible for us to get this knowledge by oneself. One has to go to a teacher, one has to get this knowledge from the teacher. And because this shastra is something which may not be possible for me to decipher properly, the shastra has got the words which are very very cryptic, and the shastra can sometimes be so cryptic and so difficult to understand that unless there is a teacher, it is not possible for me to understand what the scriptures are trying to say. So for this particular scriptural knowledge to work for me, I have to go to a teacher. And what are the characteristics of the teacher? That was what was told in the previous verses. In the 33rd verse, in the 34th verse, we saw that the characteristics of the teacher were talked about. And then what does the student do? We saw that in the 36th verse last time we saw that the student or the shishya is expressing his problem to the guru. What is he saying? He says, Durvara samsara Davagni santaptam dodhuyamanam duradrishtavataihi bhitam prapannam paripahi mrutyoho sharanyam anyam yadaham na jane. So here what the shishya is, once he has approached the teacher, he is telling the teacher, look, durvara samsara davagni taptam. I am scorched by the fire of samsara. I am literally burnt by the tapatrayas, the adhyatmika tapa, the adibhautika tapa, and the adidaivika tapas. I am bound and I am scorched by the heat of all these three kinds of tapas. And then you are the only one who can really rescue me. And this kind of a fire, Davagni, this is a forest fire. It's like a forest fire, which is very difficult to put out, because my samsara is such that every day this samsara is worsening. It is manifesting in a different way. I am a dukhi, I am a sukhi for some time, dukhi for most of the times, and causing problems most of the times. And what is happening here? Here, this kind of a davagni or the forest fire is very difficult for me to really get rid of or put it off. It is something which is actually scorching me, and that forest fire is actually fanned by my duradrishta, by my prarabdha, by the winds of my prarabdha. The winds of my prarabdha are actually worsening this forest fire, and this forest fire is what is scorching me all the time. And dodhuyamanam means what? It is really the winds of duradrishta vataihi, means the prarabdha vataihi. That means the winds of the prarabdha are actually fanning this forest fire, and I find that there is no real respite from this forest fire. And what do I need? I am bhitam. I'm already afraid. I'm not only afraid of this forest fire, but I'm also afraid of death. Death likely to come. Any moment death may come. Death is there, which is waiting for me round the corner. And I don't know what the death is going to imply. How is it going to be when I'm going to die? How is it going to be when I pass away? What is it that I'm going to face? I am scared by the very thought of death. I am so used to considering this body as me. I am so used to the surroundings around me that the death is going to separate me from all that I know, all that I know of all my familiar surroundings is something which I'm not able to really come to terms with. And I'm bhitam prapannam paripahi mrityoho bhitam. And I have come to you, I have surrendered to you. Prapannam paripahi. Prapannam. Shishyaste shatimam tvam prapannam, Arjuna said. I have surrendered to you, O Krishna. I'm also scorched by this samsara. I don't know what I should do. Whether I should fight this war? How should I fight this war? What are going to be the problems associated when I fight this war? I am afraid of all these things, and therefore I have surrendered to you. O Krishna, teach me, get me out of this fear. Similarly, here also the student is telling, Bhitam Mrityoho Bhitam Paripahi Prapannam. I have surrendered to you, O Guru, Paripahi. Please protect me. Please take care of me. Please take me across this, forest fire of samsara. Sharanam anyam yadaham na jane. I'm not aware of any other place where I can surrender, because I have heard that it is only the Shastra, it is only this knowledge of Aham Brahmasmi, it is only this knowledge that ultimately frees me from this samsara. And this knowledge is something which I cannot get independently. By merely studying the Shastra, I am not going to get this knowledge, and I need somebody to help me to understand the words of Shastra. And I have surrendered to you, O Guru, because I have heard that you are the one, the Guru is the one who can really release me from this forest fire of samsara, who can release me from these tapas, who can release me from this samsara sagara. You are the only one who can release me from this. And what kind of a person are you? I have heard what kind of persons the gurus are. I have heard. And what is that? That is going to be talked about in the next verse, the 37th verse, where the Shishya is actually explaining to the Guru, this is what I have known or I have heard about what a Guru is, the characteristics of a Guru, and how compassionate a Guru is, how ahetuka daya sindhuhu, we saw that in the previous verses, that without any reason, without having any kind of an axe to grind, without having any kind of a purpose, without having any kind of a motive, this Guru is able to help the Shishya to cross over the samsara sagara. And therefore, I have heard that these people, the gurus, you people, gurus belong to a particular, what are the characteristics? What is it that you are? That I have heard. Oh Guru, I have heard that you are like this. That is what is going to be told here in the 37th verse, where the Shishya expresses whatever he has heard about the Guru's lakshanas or characteristics. He explains it to the Guru, and he says, Shanta Mahanto Nivasanti Santaha Vasantavallokahitam Charantaha Tirnaha Swayam Bhima Bhavarnavam Janan Ahetuna Jnana Pitarayantaha. So here the Shishya is telling, hey Guru, I have heard that the Gurus are like this. What are they? The Guru is a Shanta. A Shanta is a person who is a very composed person, a quiet person, a Shama Damanvita person. We have already seen what is Shama, what is Dama. And for a person who is a Mumukshu, Shama and Dama are going to be the sadhanas. But for a person who's already a guru, who's already a jnani, Shama and Dama become the natural characteristics of a jnani. And here he says, I have heard that you, the guru, is Shantaha, Shanta. You people, the gurus, people who are in the guru sthana, I have heard that these people are Shanta. They're absolutely composed people. Santaha. They are very saintly people. In the sense, they are only interested in the good of the people who surrender to them. They are not interested in any personal gains from the students or the shishyas. So they are santaha. So if you say shanta, they are shanta, composed shamadamanvitaha people, and nivasanti santaha. I have heard that these gurus are all the time available. They are there, nivasanti. They are santa. They are santaha means what? They are all the time of great, of saintly disposition. They are saints who are always willing to help people. And they are what? Mahantaha. Mahantaha means what? Those who have understood what this Brahman is. Those who have understood this Mahan teaching of the Shastras. So they are Mahantaha. Means those, all the time, doing good. Santaha means who? Who are the Santas? Santas are the ones who never think of themselves, but they're constantly doing good to the other people. They're thinking of always good to the other people. So here he's saying, Nivasanti Santaha Shantaha. They're Shantaha, very composed people. They are the saintly people who are all the time there to help people who are in need. But one thing, let me tell you, a guru will not give this knowledge unless it is asked for. If you go and ask a guru for any kind of a laukika kind of a blessing, what will the guru say? The guru will say, yes, I will pray for you. I will pray for you with my Aradhya Devata. I will pray for you. I bless you that you are going to be all right. Things will be all right. That's what he will say. But a guru will ultimately not tell the one who has gone without this asking, a person who goes asking for any blessings. He may bless, give some vibhuti, give some tirtha, and say your problem will be sorted out. I will see that your problem is sorted out. But it is only a person who goes asking for this knowledge. It is only a person who asks for this knowledge gets this knowledge from the guru, because the guru knows that unless the person is prepared for this knowledge, unless a person asks for this knowledge, there is no point in giving this knowledge, because this knowledge is something which has to be received by a proper patra. Whatever is given by the guru is not something very, very, something which is a very frivolous knowledge. No, it is a very deep knowledge. It is the knowledge of our scriptures. It is something which has come from Paramatma itself. It has come in the form of Vedas. It is a sacred knowledge. And the Guru is not going to waste this knowledge on people who are not interested in this knowledge. And most of the time, people who go to the Gurus are not going to the Gurus for this knowledge, but to ask for some local benefit, some kind of a problem they are in, and they want to get rid of the problem, and they are going to be blessed by this. So the gurus are going to be of blessing nature also. Not that the guru will give this knowledge to everybody. When a person asks for this knowledge, such a knowledge is going to be given by the guru to such a person. So he says, Shanta, those who are very well composed, composure of the mind, Shamadavanvitaha, Santaha Nivasanti, like saintly people, they are doing good to the people who go to them, bless them in times of their need, that they will come out of it. At the same time, they are even willing to give this knowledge to a person who asks for this knowledge, because they are Mahantaha. What is the meaning of Mahantaha? They know this Mahan Brahman. They are aware of this Brahman. They have understood what the Shastras have talked about. They have got it from their gurus. Paramparataya, they have got it from their gurus, and they are therefore able to give this knowledge. So, what kind of a people are they? They bring happiness to people. What kind of a happiness is compared here? Vasantaval lokahitam charantaha. The presence of these people, the gurus, are like the presence of a spring season. How the presence of the spring season is going to get rid of the cold of the winter and going to bring about the warmth of the ensuing summer. At the same time, this Vasanta or the spring season is what brings rise to all the plants blooming, the flowers blooming, the fruits blooming. And in the spring season, everybody is very happy. People are very, very happy in the spring season. And it is said that the presence of a guru in a community, the presence of a guru in the middle of people brings about this kind of a happiness. It is like as if the spring season has come. And what kind of an happiness the season of spring brings to the people. The presence of the guru also, whether he teaches Vedanta or whether he is merely there with the people, blessing people with whatever they want, blessing them to find peace within themselves, whatever it is. These gurus are Vasantaval Lokahitam Charantaha. Lokahitam Charantaha Vasantaval. They are like the spring season which gives happiness. They bring about happiness. That is why whenever Swamiji comes here, we are all so happy. We go in such large numbers, attend all the programs. Just being in the presence of the gurus, just sitting around the guru can give us so much of a peace of mind and happiness. So he says that Vasantaval Lokahitam Charantaha. Lokahitam Charantaha. They want the Lokahitam. They want the Hita of the Loka. And what is the ultimate Hitam of the Loka? Loka means you can say the world, and you can say Loka means people also. The ultimate good of people. What is the ultimate good of people? The ultimate good of people is to understand the Shastra knowledge and to understand that Aham Brahmasmi. I am that consciousness, I am that Atma, I am that Brahman, knowing which all my ignorance is gone, all my samsara is gone. That is the ultimate hitam of everybody, for everybody. That is what is called as Shreyas. That is what Bhagwan Yamadharmaraya is going to tell Nachiketas in Katopanishad, that Shreyas is for the ultimate good of the person. Similarly, ultimately, who our Arjuna also, what did he ask for? He asked for Shreyas. He said, whatever is for my ultimate good, hey, Bhagwan Krishna, give me that particular thing. So, what is this hitam, loka hitam? Just like Vasanta season or the spring season brings about loka hita, happiness around, ultimately, the presence of a guru brings about happiness in all the people who are in and around the Guru. Therefore, Vasantaval Lokahitam Charantaha. Tirnaha Swayam Bhima Bhavarnamavam Janan Ahetuna Anyanapi Tarayantaha. Swayam Tirnaha. Who are they? They have themselves crossed over this. What they have crossed over? Bhima Bhava Arnavam. Arnava means the ocean. Bhava Arnava means samsara sagara. Bhima Bhava Arnava means frightful samsara sagara. Fearful. Bhima means fearful. A fearful or a fierce samsara sagara in which I am caught now. That samsara sagara is already crossed over by these gurus. It is already crossed over. Tirnaha Swayam. They have already crossed over this samsara sagara because they have crossed over it. They know how to cross over it, and they can help others who are interested in crossing over the samsara sagara or this samsara davagni. So this samsara can be compared to many things. In many texts, samsara is compared to so many things, like in one text, it says samsara is nothing but the three kinds of tapas, trividham tapam. That is what adhyatmika tapa. That suffering which is centered around the body mind sense complex, around the individual, called as the adhyatma tapa, adibhautika tapa, that suffering which I get because of my surroundings, over which I have a partial control, where I don't have a total control. Adidaivika, that means that which is because of my prarabdha and other variables over which I do not have any control. This is also called as samsara. Whereas some people describe samsara as a kupa, samsara kupa, they say. It is like falling in a well. A person who does not know swimming falls into a well and people cannot lift him up also. What kind of a situation the person is? He has to struggle there, suffer there, till somebody takes him out. So it is also called as samsara kupaha. It is explained as that. Samsara sagaraha. Just like, is it possible for me to cross over an ocean with just a small raft or swim across? It is not possible. I need a proper kind of an instrument through which I can cross over this samsara sagara. So samsara is compared to an arnava or sagara. Samsara is also compared, as we saw in the previous verse, Davagnihi, forest fire of samsara. So he says, Tirnaha Swayam Bhima Bhavarnavam. Swayam Tirnaha. These people, these gurus have themselves crossed over. Isn't it better to go to a person who knows the way, who has crossed over the samsara sagara, and who knows what it means to cross over, who knows what are the difficulties in crossing over the samsara sagara? He has been helped by his guru to cross over the samsara sagara. So swayam tirnaha bhima bhavarnavam swayam tirnaha. They have themselves crossed this samsara sagara, and they have got the experience of crossing this samsara sagara. And what do? Janan, okay? Anyanapi. If you see the next line, Janan Anyanapi. Other people also, they are able to ahetuna tarayantaha, without any kind of an expectation in return. Without any kind of an expectations in return, without expecting anything, you only have to ask. A guru will teach, you only have to ask. One has to ask for it. Arjuna asked for it, so he got this teaching. Dharmaraya did not ask for this. Bhishma did not ask for this. Drona did not ask for this. In the battlefield, the one who asked for this knowledge was Arjuna, and therefore he got it. Similarly, ahetuna, without expecting anything from the Shishya, for mere asking, these teachers, these gurus are willing to teach and help this person to cross over the Bhima Arnavam of samsara. Therefore, Swayam Tiranaha, they have already crossed. Janan Anyanapi Ahetuna Tarayantaha. Without any kind of an expectation, they are able to and they are willing to take these people and take them across this also. So this is what a student or a shishya knows about the guru. This is what he has heard. We saw what are the characteristics and lakshanas of a guru in the previous verses. But how does a student know what a guru is? This is his opinion. Whatever he has expressed now about the guru, that is his opinion about what a guru is. And he is asking the guru, hey guru, I am afraid of this samsara davagni. Taptam davagni taptam aham prapannam bhitaha mrityoho bhitaha. I am afraid of this samsara. I am afraid of the mrityu coming back again and I am surrendering to you, O Guru. Prapannam me paripahi. I have surrendered to you, and I know you are like Vasantavat, you are Lokahitam, the one who wants Lokahita, the one who is capable of bringing a person like me out of this samsara davagni. Therefore, hey Guru, I am surrendering to you. Please help me. And I have heard that this is what a guru is. And I have known, I have been taught, I have heard that this is what a guru is. And therefore, I come to you begging for help to help me get out of this samsara. So, next, now listening to the plight of this Shishya now, What does the Guru say in the next verse, in the 43rd verse? See, some of these verses you may find that one or two this way, that way, numbering may change because there are many books. Ramakrishna Ashram book is there, then Chinmaya Mission book is there, and internet also you will find something from Sanskrit documents. So I am using the Ramakrishna Ashram publication book. So from that I am telling you, but there cannot be too much of a difference, maybe one or two verses. When I am say 43rd verse, it may be 44th or 42nd verse in whichever book you are following. So you just see that here in the book which I am using, Ramakrishna Ashram book, it is 43rd verse. And here, listening to the plight of the Shishya, what does the Guru say? The first thing that a Guru has to, you know, say is, hey Shishya, I know your problem. I have understood your problem and I have a solution for it. Straight away, the teacher does not start teaching. The teacher first acknowledges the problem. That is what a doctor does. When a patient comes to a doctor and starts telling all the symptoms, what does the doctor say? He listens to the patient first, and listening to the patient, he says, yes, now I know what your problem is. I will examine you, and now I know from what you are telling me and from what I have examined, I know your problem. Do not worry, there is a way out of this problem. So the first thing is to acknowledge that the person has a problem. And that is what here the teacher has to do first. The Guru cannot just poo-poo the problem of the Shishya. And the Guru cannot say, if a Guru says, come on, what are you talking about? It's all nonsense. What you're talking about is, there's nothing like that. No, you are Brahman. There is nothing to worry. If you are worried about these things, if you are scorching by the samsara, the Agni, Davagni, I have nothing to do with. If this is the kind of attitude the Guru takes, then the Shishya is not going to benefit by that. So because the Guru is a Hetuka Daya Sindhu, he is a person who is an embodiment of compassion. What does he say? He first accepts the problem of the Shishya. He accepts it and he says, yes, this is your problem. This is your genuine problem. And I have understood what your problem is because I have also gone through the same problem. And I have approached my Guru with the same problem. And whatever problem you have, it is a real problem and do not be afraid. So first, the Guru convinces and calms the person, calms the Shishya who has come to him afraid of the whole thing. He is afraid, he is suffering with samsara. First thing that the Guru does is calms him down. And in the 43rd verse, he says, Ma bhaishta vidvanstavanastyapayaha samsara sindhostarane styupayaha yenaiva yatayatayosya param tameva margam tava nirdishami. This is a simple verse. This, I mean, as I'm reading, you must be already understanding the meaning of it. Ma bhaishta, don't be afraid. There is nothing to be afraid of here. Why? Because, and how does he explain the Shiksha? Ma bhaishta he vidvan. Hey Vidwan, he says. Vidwan means what? Hey Vidwan. Hey Vidwan means here, do not be afraid. Learned one. Vidwan, Vidwan. Oh, learned one. Here, Vidwan does not mean learned one, does not mean that he has got the knowledge of all these things. He still does not have the knowledge of what it is. He is only afraid. He is only feeling the samsara. He still doesn't know what is it that he has to do. He only feels the bandha. He does not know what that bandha is, why that bandha or why that bondage is there, why that suffering is there, he doesn't understand. Still, he does not know what the Shastra is going to teach him, what the Guru is going to teach him, and ultimately what kind of a knowledge is it that is going to be given to him, and how he is going to get out of this samsara, he still does not know. Even then, the teacher is addressing the student as, Hey Vidwan, O learned one. Why is he calling him the learned one? Because he has done enough of karma yoga and he has enough of chitta shuddhi. He has done enough of upasana yoga, he has got enough of chitta naishchalyam. He has imbibed enough of values, amanitvadi values, as we saw in Bhagavad Gita in the 13th chapter. He has enough of Daivi Sampatti, as we saw in the 16th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Now, he's a sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari. Who is this person now? He is fully prepared for this knowledge. He understands that it is only this knowledge which can free him for this samsara. And for this knowledge, he has come to the teacher, to the guru, fully prepared. Therefore, he is a jnana yogya. Because he is a jnana yogya, because he is a sadhana chatushtaya adhikari, how does the guru address him? O Vidwan, he says, O learned one. Naturally, he wants to learn. He's not yet a jnani. He's not yet understood. He doesn't even know what is going to come in the future, what is going to be taught. Even then, this person, this guru, calls him, Hey Vidwan, Ma Bhaishta Vidwan. Please do not worry. Do not get scared, O Vidwan. Okay. Tavanasti apayaha. For you, there is no apaya. There is nothing to worry about. Don't get afraid. There is nothing to worry about. I fully understand what you are going through. Validation of the Shishya's samsara is the first step the Guru has to do. That is building a rapport with the Shishya. That is what all the gurus do. First, they build a rapport with the Shishya. They never try to show what they know, or they never try to start you with the teaching first. They try to find out what is it that you want. What is it that is troubling you? What is the level of your sadhana chatushtaya sampatti? They talk to you and they try to first validate your problem. And by validating the Shishya's problem, the Guru is building a kind of a rapport, and this is the way he validates. Ma bhaishta vidvan, a learned one, hey Shishya, oh great one. He says in the further, verses also, we are not going to see all those verses. There are some 6-7 verses where the teacher is praising the Shishya for having taken this step of coming to the Guru to learn this knowledge. Therefore, he says, Ma bhaishta vidvan, tava nasti apayaha. There is no apaya for you. There is no danger for you. Samsara sindoho tarane asti upayaha. There is an upaya. Upayaha asti. For what? Samsara sindoho tarane. Samsara sindhu. Samsara bhima. Samsabhiva bhima bhava arnava, which was called in the previous verse. The Guru says, Samsara sindoho tarane tava asti upayaha. There is an upaya. There is a way. There is a method. You do not know that, but I know that method. Yenaiva yata yatayo asya param. By this particular path, by this particular route, people have already crossed the samsara sagara earlier. Yenaiva. Yenaiva means from this upaya itself. This particular upaya, from this particular upaya or this particular method or this particular path itself, yenaiva yata, many people have achieved, many people have gone. Where they have gone? Asya param. Samsara sindoho param yataha yatayaha. The earlier, before you have come, hundreds, thousands of jnanis. He doesn't say, I have passed through. He says thousands of jnanis. And if the Shishya is intelligent enough, he should understand that it includes this Guru also to whom he has gone. So he says, Yenaiva, by this upaya, this particular upayena eva, what has happened? Yatayaha yataha asya param. Asya samsara sindoho param yataha, means those who have gone beyond this. Tameva margam tava nirdishami. That particular path only I am going to tell you. Therefore, don't be worried. I'm not going to tell you something which I have invented. No. I am going to talk to you and I am going to give you the time tested path. That path which is the time tested path which already people have taken before, and people have crossed this samsara sindhu. That particular path only I am going to tell you how to get out. Now, margaha, tameva margam tava nirdishami. Nirdishami means what? Very clearly I am going to tell you, I am going to instruct you very clearly. Margam means a path also, a road also. Margam also means inquiry. That's why Ramana Maharishi in his book Upadeshasaram calls it as Marganam. Okay. You might remember in the Bhagavad Gita also 15th verse, Tat padam tat parimargitavyam yasmin gata nani vartanti bhuyaha. We saw that in the 15th chapter. Parimargitavyam, parimarganam. Marganam means inquiry. Marga also means a way. It also means a path. But margaha also means inquiry. Here, the path of crossing over the samsara sagara is by way of inquiry. That path is the path of inquiry, parimarganam. Inquiry into what? Inquiry into what the Shastra is telling. Inquiry into what the Shastra is going to tell, how to cross this particular samsara sagara. Therefore, that particular inquiry, the method of inquiry, that path which is nothing but inquiry into Vedanta Shastra, that particular time tested path alone, I am going to talk about. And that particular path I'm going to talk about because that is what you need. And that is time tested because all the previous jnanis have only gone through that path only. There is only one path to cross over the samsara sagara, and it is parimarganam or marganam or inquiry into what our Upanishads talk about as to how to get out of this. What is this? How to get out of this? There is a method of getting out of this. And then why is your bondage there? Your bondage is because of a certain thing that is there, and I know how to get out of it. And don't worry, there is an upaya for that. Now the teacher in the next verse wants to tell the Shishya as to what his problem is. Like a doctor talks about the problem to the patient, and many times the patient doesn't understand. When you tell the patient your problem is this, the patient may not understand, but we have to tell the patient. Similarly, here, the teacher is going to tell the student in the next verse, in the 47th verse, the teacher is going to tell the Shishya, your problem is this. But mind you, when you read this verse, the next verse which I am reading, you will understand that none of the words are known to the Shishya. They're all the technical words, but what it means is these are what are going to be explained in the form of inquiry. Now, the teacher, the guru, is going to tell the Shishya, your problem is because of this. Now, what is your problem? The diagnosis is going to be given by the guru to the Shishya in the 47th verse. Now, what does he say? Agnya अज्ञानयोगात् परमात्मनस्तव ह्यनात्मबुद्बन्धस्तत एव संसृतिः तयोर्विवेकोदितबोधवह्निः अज्ञानकार्यं प्रदहेत् समूलम्. So, what is the diagnosis and what I am going to do? This is what is going to be told. Like a doctor explains to a patient, your problem is this, and this is the course of treatment I am going to take up to get you out of this problem. That's what he says now. So, what does now see? So many technical words are going to be used here, and the Shishya does not know any of them, and we can understand that rest of the Vivekachudamani is going to be talking about each and every of these technical words which the guru is using in telling the Shishya about what the diagnosis of the Shishya is. Now, what does he says? What is your problem, hey Shishya? He says, Ajnana Yogat Paramatmanaha Tava. Hey Shishya, you are nothing but Paramatma itself. You are that Brahman Atma Swarupa. Now, first of all, this person, the Shishya who has gone now with these problems, the very first word, you are Paramatma. He does not know what Paramatma is. Okay? But then the teacher still says, Paramatmanaha Tava. You are this Paramatma. What is Paramatma? Param Atma. You are that limitless Atma. You are that infinite Atma, which we call as Brahman. We are already having this knowledge because we have already studied Bhagavad Gita. Last 90 sessions we have studied, so we know what is Atma, we know what is Anatma, we know what is this, Paramatma. So we may find what is this, but for the first time when a Shishya is going to the Guru and the Guru says, don't worry, you are the very Paramatma, your very Swarupam is that Paramatma Swarupam Yeva, Paramatmanaha Tava. You are nothing but that Paramatma. But unfortunately, Ajnana Yogat, because of the association with Ajnanam, what has happened? Anatma Bandhaha. You are bound by the Anatma. See all the technical words. Now our Shishya has gone already confused, and now certain words are being bombarded by the Guru. The Guru says, you are the Paramatma, but you are bound by the Anatma because of Ajnanam or Avidya. The Shishya doesn't know what is Avidya. The Shishya doesn't know what is Paramatma. The Shishya doesn't know what is Anatma. And he says, Tata eva samsritihi. Because of this entanglement with the Anatma itself, we know, we can understand it from what we have seen in Bhagavad Gita. So what is the teacher trying to say here? He says, by nature, you are not a Jiva, hey Shisha. You are that Paramatma Swarupa Brahman only. But unfortunately, because of the association with avidya, because of ignorance, what has happened? You are mistaking and confusing yourself to be this limited body, mind, sense complex Anatma. Because of the identification of Anatma, you have forgotten that you are the limitless, infinite Atma. And it is because of the yoga or samyoga or association with Ajnanam. So, Ajnana Yoga, because of the association with Ajnana, Paramatmana Tava, you who is by the very nature Paramatma, Anatma Bandhaha, you are bound to the Anatma because of this confusion, because of not knowing your real nature, which we have already seen in Bhagavad Gita, which is called as Mula Avidya. What is Mula Avidya? I do not know who I am. I do not know what is my real nature. I mistake myself to be as limited as this body, mind, sense complex. So, what do I say? I am this limited body, I am this limited mind, I am this limited sense complex, and there is nothing other than that. I am this Jiva, different from the Jagat, from the other Jivas. I am different from Paramatma, I am different from Ishvara. This is my current understanding. And that is because of my ignorance of my real nature. What is me, the Jiva? What is the Jagat? What is Ishvara? I do not know the reality of Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara, which we saw in Bhagavad Gita. How Bhagavan Krishna very, very systematically starts with Jiva Swarupa first in the first to sixth chapter, then Ishvara Swarupa in the 7 to 12 chapters, and then the Aikyam in the last six chapters. Om Nandantu Sadhaka Sarve Vinashyantu Vidushakaha Avastha Shambhavi Mestu Prasannostu Guru Sada Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukham Apnuyat. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.